Hi guys, welcome to vlog number 3. Now this is becoming more regular, and I'm excited for the first time in the 3 times that we've chatted so far to actually have a full-blown theme to this vlog. So today I want to talk about something that I get asked more and more these days, which is how did I get into teaching college classes, and also talk a little bit about what spring was like, teaching in the middle of a pandemic, switching to Zoom classes and all that, and then what we have cooking up for fall, which next Monday, which is in a couple of days, I will officially transition back to being Prof AP. Just go by my initials since college. Some of you might know me as Asilda, and most of my friends just call me AP. So the new trend for this year is Prof AP, for the fun name. So anyway, let's start with a couple of first things. How did I become a professor? Which I don't have a PhD. I do have a master's degree, but the story goes way, way back when I was getting my master's. And one of my professors, we stayed in touch through the years, and I would come and do guest talks on different marketing topics. And we just stayed in touch. There were times where I would come in and mentor a course-long project, which was amazing. And through all of it, I've always had interest in giving back to and inspiring the new generation of marketers. I think now it's more important than before, or ever maybe, just because with so much information overload and so many products that just add clutter to our lives, I think it's pretty amazing to be a part of that generation that actually brings more meaning through the products that marketers work on. And hopefully that idea of meaningful interactions between brands and people buying these brands and products, and product development for things that actually matter in people's lives. More is not necessarily better. In the last year, I've been really thinking a lot about what is essential and what minimizing looks like. What's an empty home? Not that you don't have stuff, but just clearing out things in your life to allow more space for mental happiness, development, fulfillment, all these things. So last fall, we grabbed coffee with Professor Rome. I call him Andy. And we've known each other for 9 years, ever since I took his first class. He brought a guest speaker into one of my classes who then became my pretty much lifelong mentor through all these years, and who got me the moto job that I've just recently left. So we grabbed coffee, we chatted, and the conversation shifted to, how do you feel about teaching a marketing course in fall 2020? And right away I said yes. I was excited from the beginning to get this opportunity. And then mid-December, so maybe like a month later, mid-December, we chatted again, and the conversation shifted to how about spring 2020? So literally it was 4 weeks before the semester start, and it was a lot of moving parts, LMU, HR, documents, contracts, a lot of different paperwork. And the course was brand new. So it wasn't like I was coming in and teaching a course that has already been developed and I'm kind of integrating into an existing framework and course materials and projects and all that stuff. It was completely new. That course was called Growth Marketing, and I was co-teaching. So I was co-teaching with somebody else, the co-founder of this marketing school that's a 2-year program on top of LMU's typical marketing degree. It's a more advanced, more fun. It's tougher to get into. It's very hands-on. You learn from the best. There's a lot of interaction with local businesses and just businesses in general, especially now with Zoom. So it's hands-on. You get the best instructors. You get the best guest speakers. You do the things you learn about, so right away you apply the knowledge. So I think it's pretty incredible. And we developed the course that was called Growth Marketing. And in that course, we also had a segment that was called Happiness Hacking, which Matt, Professor Steffel, who was teaching with me, we wanted to add it just because, so much noise in the world and things get busy, and how do you stay happy? And it was supposed to be, we meet once a week for 3 hours, and it was supposed to be a 15-minute little segment, almost like a break, something extra, something interesting to add to the material, to give a pause and to give interesting information for something that should be talked more about. So we added that, and of course, mid-March, the whole world shut down. Classes went to Zoom, everyone to Zoom. And right around that time, we had spring break. So for the first half of the semester, we had all the learning of, about happiness and about growth marketing and different marketing channels, which was interesting. And then we shifted to Zoom, and that was the beginning of our happiness month-long project, which just coincided so perfectly with everything. So honestly, my biggest takeaway was I felt really amazing at the beginning of the semester teaching, just because I was excited to bring everything that I was doing in my life throughout multiple avenues, e-commerce and just a lot of different things. So I felt like this would be interesting for someone to see, and I could share some numbers. So it wasn't like out of thin air, and like it all depends, as typically goes in a lot of different conversations. You can do this in marketing, and then you say, well, okay, give me a real example. Of course, it all depends, but give me a real example. What did you do? What's the result? But in my case, I was able to do some of that, so that was really, really great. So happiness hacking shifted to Zoom. By the end of the class, I realized, it was such a learning experience. I did not really do much of research on educational systems, and I really underestimated I would say, in marketing, they say, if you see the same message as a marketer 7 times, your customer has just seen it for the first time. So you have to hone in the same message and bring it home over and over until somebody really registers in their mind, because we're so overloaded with information anyway these days. So it's really hard to break through the noise. But then when you're teaching something, you really want your students to walk away with something that can be the foundation for many, many years to come. And that was interesting for me. How do you teach effectively? How do you seem fun and experienced and interesting, and how do you transfer that fun of whatever you're teaching to the students, and then layer the foundation of it, and then layer current practices of it, and them trying and trial and error and getting feedback, working in teams, working solo. All these things were crazy interesting. And then so as COVID happened, we shifted online, and I started watching a lot of videos about educational systems, and kind of making my own list of what I could have done better. And then the semester ended. I got my, instructor feedback. I was really excited. It has been such a long time for me to have a 16-week-long segment of my life where I know this is the start and this is the finish, and you feel accomplished. Through a lot of my, my full-time marketing job, it was just like nonstop every day, nonstop. You always feel like you're in the middle of a routine. And here, it was a semester-long something that I haven't had in a while. And you feel accomplished when it's done, and you want to give yourself some kind of reward after it. And I feel like it was a job well done. So I got invited to teach back in fall, and this time I'm teaching with my professor, who was my first, MBA professor back it will be, close to 10 years ago soon. So this fall, we're teaching a course that's called Full Funnel Marketing. And the idea is that first you introduce the idea of a marketing funnel, which is essentially there's a lot of people who you can target and explain what you do and what your product does. It starts like this. You start with a lot of people, and then as people learn about your product, let's say in my case, it would be pins, patches, stickers, things like that, what I do, maybe my photography, maybe other things that I'm involved in. So then, fewer and fewer people will be like, oh, this is for me. Oh, this is great. Oh, how much does it cost? Okay, perfect. What's the shipping? Okay, great. What do people say? What are the reviews? Okay, everyone's happy. How does social media look? Should I subscribe to an email list? Maybe there's a discount code. So all these things people consider, and then by the end of it, only a small percentage really buys. And typically across e-commerce in general, it's roughly 2%. So you lose 98%. Where do they go? What can you be doing with them? What can you be doing for them? What if more people could be buying from you? The people who already bought, what if you keep having them come back, inspiring them to come back? For me, for the store, it's pretty incredible. A really large percentage of people comes back and gets gifts. So, something inspirational for friends, for family members. I had stories of teachers buying sets of pins to give students as rewards in classes. Not kindergarten, but, middle school, high school, that type of level of, education. So it's been really amazing. So we're teaching full funnel marketing. The class kicks off Monday, August 31st. I'm very excited. A couple of things that we're trying differently this fall. Obviously, everything in Los Angeles educational institutions are not allowed to bring back people on campus, so we're going all Zoom. At least right now, this is the setup. So all Zoom, and when you first join the session, basically when you start the semester, you'll be greeted with this storyline. Congratulations, you've successfully bypassed the rest of 2020. You've had enough. Now we're shifting to 2021. You graduated, you just went on an amazing vacation, and guess what? You also landed the dream job of your life with an ad agency you've always wanted to work for. And so from here, all the projects throughout the semester, they'll be working on for that agency. And they can choose, there's 10 projects that they will deliver for their creative portfolio. All that have to do with the marketing funnel and different stages of people researching, buying, coming back to buy more, all that stuff. So basically all projects will be tied to the agency and the different clients that the agency has. We have some really interesting narratives added into this. We've pre-recorded some sessions. There will be some really interesting segments live in class. We've added a little bit of gamification to the class. I've read quite a bit about this summer. So really, really excited. And then one more fun thing that we're adding to this is going to be called teaching teams. So when I started teaching in spring, I realized how much you need to know and be ready to explain when you're teaching something. It's not something you think about every day, but basically you learn the best when you have to then explain this to somebody else and you have to teach somebody else. So what we're doing this semester is we are going to assign teaching teams, and each week there will be teaching team presenting something, essentially delivering a mini lecture on that topic. And they're all diverse, and they will all be a lot of fun. And instead of us professors saying, this is how you do it, this is the right way, this way is the only way, now instead it's basically, let's have a conversation. This team will deliver what's the latest on the topic and prompt a discussion or a breakout session or an exercise, and then we all work together on it. And by the end of the semester, they will know the marketing consumer decision journey framework. They'll have projects for their portfolio. They'll go through the narrative of the semester long working at the agency, which will be sprinkled with some of the writing I will do here and there. I don't want to disclose too much because this is going on YouTube and it'll be, public everywhere. So, but very excited. 16 weeks to go. 2020, the year of teaching. 2020, the year of perfect vision. Excited is an understatement. I'm teaching with the best professor I've ever had in my life. We're co-teaching. He was my professor. Now I'm teaching with him. I've had an amazing experience in spring teaching with Matt. Now I'm teaching with Andy. They've selected the best of the best to be part of this LMU M-School program. And Prof AP. Exiting out. I'll talk to you in vlog number 4. See you later, guys. Thanks for checking in.